Let's talk to Stephen in London. Stephen, you have some thoughts on this. What would you like to say to us?
Hi, Peter. Yes, my thought is that people, it's for their free choice whether they get vaccinated or not, but people who choose not to get the vaccine, they are choosing to take the risk of being more likely to need medical care if they do get and catch the virus. Therefore, they should have to pay some premium towards their health care if they do need that medical care. I mean, so why should the vaccinated people be penalised by having their taxes paid for the medical care of people who chose not to get the vaccine and who chose to take the extra risk of needing medical care?
So you're saying that we should actually fine people who well, not necessarily fine them, but charge them sort of a premium for NHS access if they've chosen not to get the vaccine. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly, some sort of premium. I mean, if you have medical and private medical insurance, if you get sick, then your premium goes up. So there you can choose not to get the vaccine if you've got private medical insurance, but you're more likely to need medical care, and therefore you're more likely to have your premium go up. So most people on private insurance would probably choose to get the vaccine so to avoid having their premium go up.
But Stephen, it's interesting. I mean, the NHS, the whole point of the NHS is socialised medicine. It's free at the point of use. Of course, we pay for it through taxation, but we don't pay when we go to A&E. It's not like America. You don't have to fill out a form and say you've got medical insurance. And of course, I mean, would you then say that smokers, for example, should have, because they might get lung cancer, for example, should they have to pay a premium? What about people who maybe ski? Well, skiing is a very dangerous sport. That people might break your leg. Should they have to pay as well?
Well, regarding the COVID, the people who chose not to get the vaccine, they paid their taxes probably, I assume, to get free healthcare at the point of source, and therefore that's why they're being offered the vaccine. So that, they're being offered the vaccine.
But that's the key point, Stephen, isn't it? They've been offered the vaccine. They're not told they have to take it. They're not pinned down and someone's sticking a needle in their arm. It is a choice whether to get a vaccine. Surely we should be persuading those people as much as we can. I believe people should get the vaccine, but I don't think we should force people to get the vaccine. Surely we should be persuading them, Stephen.
People should not be forced. They should make a free choice. But if they choose not to get the vaccine, they're choosing to take the extra risk of needing medical care. Smokers pay for that extra care by the taxes they pay. So that's taken care of.
Okay, I think a lot of people will disagree with you on that, Stephen. And even though I believe that people should get the vaccine and should be encouraged to get the vaccine, I don't think we should be forcing or penalising anybody not to get it. Let's talk to Sue in Chelmsford. She has a slightly different view on this. Sue, what do you think of what you've just heard, and what's your point?
Well, Peter is really talking about lifestyle choices.
Stephen.
Sorry, Stephen. You're Peter, aren't you?
I am. I think so.
What I wanted to say was that last year, when they were trying to decide whether to use the vaccine as an emergency, Jonathan Van Tan said this. It's a very short quote. Given that the elderly were much more likely to die from COVID, regulators were likely to need less assurance about the safety of the vaccine. And he went on to say vaccinating the 20% of adults, the elderly adults, most at risk, could eliminate up to 90% of deaths. Professor Whitty also said 80% of people catching COVID wouldn't even know they've had it. This was all said last year by the people who are now promoting the vaccine for everybody.
Sue, it's entirely up to you whether you want to tell me or not. I'm not forcing you, I'm just asking you. No. Have you had the vaccine?
No, I'm not going to tell you that.
Okay, fair enough.
Now, the elderly and the obese are more at risk of death from all illnesses, including COVID. Footballers are young, fit men who are not at risk of many illnesses at all, least of all COVID. But there is a risk from the vaccine, as Peter English said, of getting myocarditis. Now, they've seen fellow footballers actually falling down with on the pitch with cardiac arrests. Many of those will never play again. You don't know the long-term effects of myocarditis. Most people actually recover from it, but need long-term care. I think if I was a young footballer, it's unlikely to be anything like that, but if I was a young footballer, I would wait till the trial for the vaccine was over and then decide whether to have the vaccine. I mean, these people, these footballers that are anybody who's not had the vaccine so far might be just waiting until the trial is over. Surely that's a sensible thing to do.
Sue,
Especially
thank you.
if they're not at risk.
Okay, Sue in Chelmsford, thank you very, very much indeed for your point on that.